Inspiration is where you find it. You can't force it, and you can't predict when and where it will come. I had nothing to do with the inspiration that made our great adventure possible, but the inspiration that made it practical came to me while I was walking with my friend Doc through a railroad freight yard in my hometown of Daytona. Doc is a string bean, well over 6 feet, and could hide behind a flagpole. African American, though he doesn't use the term, and fairly dark. Doc is short for Daktari, which is Swahili for doctor. A hell of a thing to wish on a newborn baby, he once said. He's my age, from the same graduating class but different high schools. We often took these long walks, often on the tracks. Here we sorted out the big questions of life. Is there a God? Are we alone in the universe? Is Britney Spears too old to stay on the top 10 babes of all time list? Would Al Johnson switch to Team Chevy before the next 500? Does it look like rain? I looked around and sniffed the air. Sure does. Thunderheads were towering in the east. What else is new? This was Florida. It rained every day. Today the temperature was only about 80, but the humidity was 210%. 2 minutes later, it started to pour. We ran to a line of a dozen rusting black tank cars that had been parked on a siding for as long as I could remember, and ducked under one. No trains came through this part of the yard anymore, and the grass was thick where spilled oil hadn't killed it. I wondered if the EPA had heard of this place. You probably should have had a hazmat suit and a gas mask to even come here. There wasn't enough room to stand under the tank car, so we sat on the gravel and listened to the rain pelting on it. I think rain is harder in Florida than anywhere else. I don't mean it comes down harder. I mean the water is harder. We didn't say anything for a while, just picked out suitable golf ball-sized rocks and chucked them at a rusty old 55-gallon drum about 20 yards away. My arm was better than Doc's. I was getting 2 hits to his 1. Not the worst way in the world to waste time, but we hadn't made any progress on the big question of the day. So how do we go about building a spaceship on pocket change? That was the big one. Some question.